33 days until the election, and the second presidential debate is just 3 days out. So which VP nominee did a better job this week setting up their running mate for the Sunday night showdown in St. Louis? Here to weigh in, Democratic strategist Danielle McLaughlin and New York City GOP councilman Joe Borelli. Thank you both for joining us so early this morning.
Good morning.
Hi, Heather.
Joe, I'm going to start with you. Who do you think did a better job?
Well, I think it's not just me who thinks that. I think it's most of the media and most of the American public who think that Governor Pence did an outstanding job. He came off as on message, on point, talking about the broader issues that matter to the American public. And Senator McCain came off as unhinged. He came off, in my opinion, as like a dinner guest you wouldn't want to invite back.
Oh, ouch. Well, that depends on what you're serving for dessert,
right.
Though, I think. All right, Danielle, what do you think? Who do you think did a better job actually setting up their candidate come Sunday?
Well, I think Pence had a tougher road to hoe because Trump didn't do so well in the first presidential debate. And I agree, he did a good job. He was kind of on message, although there was definitely some daylight between his positions and Donald Trump's positions. He looked at the camera, so from a stylistic perspective, from someone who's looking at this, who's an independent, who's a moderate Republican, thinking this guy could be president, I think he did a good job. But on substance, you know, I think that Senator Kaine did a better job. He hewed very closely to the very well-established policy positions of the Clinton campaign.
Yeah, but he also veered way off at times, continually maybe hitting some talking points that he had been told, you need to stress this. Listen to what he had to say about Donald Trump's taxes and 9/11. A lot of people have talked about this.
Well, first and foremost, Donald Trump supports our troops. Donald Trump supports our veterans.
He won't pay taxes.
Donald Trump has paid all the taxes that he's... Do you not take deductions?
Gentlemen, this
How does that work?
about Syria. I'd like to...
But it is about our troops. Senator,
it is about our troops.
I understand why you want to change it. I understand why you want to change the subject. I understand why you want to change the subject.
So the question was about Syria and foreign policy, and Kaine ventures into, Donald Trump's tax issues. So, Danielle was saying perhaps Pence didn't hit enough on the issues, but Joe, I mean, it's difficult when you're all over the place like that.
Right, and this is what people found off-putting about Tim Kaine's performance, is that, I understand. Look, if I was Tim Kaine, I wouldn't want to talk about how ISIS has expanded and grown under the Obama-Clinton presidency, and how they're now able to project themselves around their territory. And so I understand why he just threw out the tax comment just to be interrupting and that sort of thing. I just don't think it was a good move for him long term. Yeah.
Well, let's take a look at this. Trump is promising to hit Hillary Clinton harder. So what can we expect for round two? Let's take a look at this Fox News poll first before I get to you, Danielle. Clinton at 43%, Trump at 40%. And this was the bump immediately following the first debate. So the question is, what kind of bump will they get following the VP debate, and how will they handle it this time around? What do you think?
We'll see whether the VP debate moves the needle at all. I'm not sure that either VP candidate did enough to really move the needle for their candidates. I think in terms of hitting Clinton hard, I think Trump has to be very, very careful. A town hall environment is very different than standing on a podium just with a moderator. This is a very intimate and personal conversation with voters. He has to be careful about what he says about Clinton and her marriage, and he really has to answer the question. So there won't be pivots to talking points and polls and popularity and greatness. He really has to answer questions, so I think he has a bit of a challenge ahead of him.
Yeah, we'll see if he can do that. And Joe, finally from you?
Yeah, I think the format works two ways. I mean, we saw the Clinton-Kaine strategy to pivot away from issues and talk about ad hominem attacks on Donald Trump. That's not going to work when you have the member of the public, an audience member, asking the questions. You can't simply just say Trump's taxes when the question's about Hillary Clinton's foundation. Tim Kaine got questioned on the foundation. It was the second question of the debate, and he gave a meandering answer that ended up in race relations. You're not going to be able to do that if you're Hillary Clinton when you're being asked by the audience.
We will see. We'll see what happens. 33 days to go. Hard to believe. Thank you, Joe Borelli and Danielle McLaughlin. Thank you.